Have you ever wondered how one of the most powerful civilizations in history went from conquering the world to crumbling into chaos? The Roman Empire, a symbol of strength, innovation, and unmatched influence, dominated for centuries, shaping the very foundation of modern governance, law, and culture. But behind the grandeur of its colosseums and the brilliance of its aqueducts, there was a story of greed, betrayal, and catastrophic missteps. From Julius Caesar's rise to Augustus' golden age, Rome soared to heights unimaginable. Yet, with power came corruption. Political infighting, economic collapse, and relentless invasions by barbarian tribes slowly chipped away at the empire's core. Imagine this. One day, Rome ruled over vast lands stretching from Britain to North Africa. The next, it was a fractured shell of its former glory. What were the pivotal moments that sealed its fate? How could a civilization so advanced fall so spectacularly? Stick around as we unravel the secrets behind the empire's meteoric rise and the devastating downfall that followed. How Rome conquered the world. The rise of the Roman Empire is one of the most awe-inspiring stories in human history. From its beginnings as a modest settlement on the banks of the Tiber River, Rome grew to dominate vast territories, influencing politics, culture, and warfare in ways that resonate even today. But how did a small city-state become the epicenter of an empire that spanned 3 continents? Rome's story starts in 753 BCE, according to legend, with the twin brothers Romulus and Remus. While this myth provides a dramatic origin, the actual foundation of Rome was likely driven by its strategic location. Nestled on 7 hills, it offered natural defenses, fertile land, and access to trade routes. Over time, the Roman Republic was established in 509 BCE, marking a pivotal shift from monarchy to a system where power was shared among elected officials and the Senate. This early political structure set Rome apart. The Republic's system of checks and balances, combined with a fierce sense of civic duty, allowed Rome to grow steadily while maintaining order. Citizens were not merely subjects but active participants in the governance of the city, which fueled loyalty and unity. Rome's military might was at the heart of its expansion. The legions, disciplined, innovative, and relentless, became the envy of the ancient world. Early on, Rome honed its military prowess in conflicts with neighboring tribes and cities. The conquest of the Etruscans, Samnites, and other Italian peoples brought the peninsula under Roman control by 264 BCE. Then came the Punic Wars, a series of titanic struggles with the Carthaginian Empire. These wars, particularly the second one led by the brilliant Hannibal, tested Rome's resilience. Despite Hannibal's stunning victories, including the legendary Battle of Cannae, Rome's determination proved unshakable. By the end of the Third Punic War, in 146 BCE, Carthage was obliterated, and Rome had solidified its dominance in the Western Mediterranean. Rome's expansion wasn't solely about military conquests. Its engineers and architects built the infrastructure that connected and sustained the empire. Roads like the Appian Way allowed for swift troop movements and trade. Aqueducts brought fresh water to cities, supporting growing populations. The Romans also pioneered urban planning, creating sprawling cities with forums, theaters, and temples that showcased their power and culture. Rome's ability to adapt politically was another cornerstone of its success. Instead of annihilating conquered peoples, they offered many a chance to become Roman citizens. This inclusive approach encouraged loyalty and allowed Rome to integrate diverse cultures into its empire. Additionally, the Senate and consuls ensured that leadership could respond quickly to challenges, whether on the battlefield or in governance. One of the most brilliant examples of Rome's political adaptability was its handling of the Hellenistic kingdoms after the fall of Alexander the Great. By allying with some and conquering others, Rome extended its influence into Greece, Egypt, and parts of Asia Minor, blending Roman law with Greek culture to create a unique and enduring legacy. Rome didn't just conquer with swords, it used ideas too. Roman culture, language, and law spread wherever its legions march. The Latin language became the lingua franca of the empire, while Roman customs influenced everything from fashion to religion in conquered territories. The foundations laid during its ascent shaped the world for centuries, influencing modern governments, legal systems, and infrastructure. However, as we'll see, the seeds of Rome's eventual fall were sown even during its rise, as the very structures that made it great began to falter under the weight of its success. The tragic downfall of Rome. The Roman Empire was a towering force that seemed invincible, but even the mightiest of empires have their breaking points. The fall of Rome wasn't a single catastrophic event, but a series of missteps, internal decay, and external pressures that unraveled its once formidable structure. From political instability to relentless invasions, let's dive into the key factors that led to the tragic downfall of one of history's greatest civilizations. As Rome expanded, so did the complexity of its governance. The transition from a republic to an empire brought centralization of power, but it also made leadership more precarious. After the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace, Rome fell into a cycle of political instability. Emperors were frequently overthrown, assassinated, or replaced by ambitious generals, creating a revolving door of leadership. Between 235 and 284 CE, Rome saw a period known as the Crisis of the 3rd Century, during which over 20 emperors ruled in just 50 years. Many were focused more on their personal power than the welfare of the empire, and this lack of stable leadership weakened the state's ability to respond to its mounting challenges. Corruption within the government and bureaucracy further eroded trust and efficiency. Public officials prioritized their own enrichment over the needs of the people, leading to widespread discontent. Rome's vast size, which had been its greatest strength, became an insurmountable burden. Managing an empire that stretched from Britain to the Middle East required immense resources that Rome struggled to sustain. The cost of maintaining the military, infrastructure, and administrative systems soared. Heavy taxation drained the empire's economy, and rampant inflation devalued Roman currency. The empire's trade networks, once the lifeblood of its economy, became vulnerable to disruption by pirates and hostile tribes. Overextension compounded these issues. Rome's borders were stretched thin, with legions spread out to defend against increasing threats. Provinces far from the capital felt neglected and became ripe for rebellion, further destabilizing the empire. One of the most immediate and visible causes of Rome's fall was the relentless wave of invasions by so-called barbarian tribes. The Goths, Vandals, Huns, and other groups posed a significant threat to Rome's borders. The sacking of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 CE was a shocking event, signaling that the empire was no longer invulnerable. Later, in 455 CE, the Vandals invaded and plundered Rome, further eroding its prestige. The Huns, led by the fearsome Attila, ravaged parts of the empire, leaving devastation in their wake. The empire's reliance on mercenary forces, often drawn from these same tribes, created additional vulnerabilities. These troops had little loyalty to Rome and often turned against it when opportunities arose. One of the most critical decisions in Rome's history was the division of the empire into eastern and western halves by Emperor Diocletian in 285 CE. While this was intended to make governance more manageable, it ultimately weakened the empire as a whole. The Eastern Roman Empire, with its wealthier cities like Constantinople, thrived and evolved into the Byzantine Empire. Meanwhile, the Western Roman Empire faced the brunt of invasions and economic decline. Without the resources and support of the East, the West struggled to maintain its territories and infrastructure. In 476 CE, the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. This event is often marked as the end of the Western Roman Empire, though the Eastern Empire would survive for nearly another 1,000 years. Environmental and health crises also contributed to Rome's fall. Shifts in climate disrupted agriculture, leading to food shortages and famine. Plagues, such as the Antonine Plague and later the Plague of Cyprian, decimated the population, weakening both the military and the economy. With fewer people to work the land, produce goods, and pay taxes, the empire's foundations grew increasingly fragile. The story of the Roman Empire is a powerful reminder of how greatness is built and how it can be lost. From its meteoric rise as a beacon of innovation and power to its eventual collapse under the weight of corruption, overextension, and relentless challenges, Rome's journey mirrors the complexities of human ambition. But the fall of Rome wasn't just the end of an empire. It was the dawn of a new age. Its influence can still be felt in our modern legal systems, architecture, and even our languages. The lessons of its triumphs and failures are timeless, offering wisdom on leadership, resilience, and the delicate balance required to sustain greatness. So what do you think? Could the fall of Rome have been prevented? Or was it inevitable given the challenges it faced? And as we look at modern civilizations, are there parallels to be drawn? History often repeats itself, and Rome's story remains a fascinating lens through which we can understand the rise and fall of power. Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating deep dives into the stories that shaped our world.